They were a very difficult team to scout. They had a large margin of victory. Their stats coming in offensively were amazing, and we just didn't know what to expect because we hadn't had a common opponent, so it was difficult to see. They have great size. They usually score a ton of points in the paint, and we held them below their averages and everything that we had focused on, which was points in the paint, transition points, and their second chance points. I mean, they were rebounding half of their misses. It was one of the most impressive teams rebounding wise we've seen coming in. So I thought Erica and Mesa really walled up and handled it, but then our guards fought and as hard as they fought all year to get the rebounds that were a little bit loose. And Nisha just, I mean, her focus, I mean, she was in the zone, and her timing was great, her vision was great, and she was in tremendous control. 5 assists and no turnovers against a team that plays multiple defenses. I thought that was really impressive. And then to hit a big 3 on top of that, it was really, really big time.
Questions?
Nisha, what did you see going into this game, and how did it all go down for you?
It all started off in pre-game film, and you know, Coach made a great point. The way their defense is set up, it's very broad. So once you attack the gaps, they start to come in, and you start to have shooters from the outside. So because of that, I was able to get inside, draw defense, and hit my shooters from the outside.
And Erica, for you, Coach was talking about how down low they bring a big presence down there, and you were able to attack the boards, able to score a lot of points in the game. What was key for you tonight?
Just really capitalizing on that aspect. We knew that was going to be their advantage, so taking that away would have been the story of the game. And coming out with a win is always a goal, so we knew that we really, really had to focus in on that, and that's what we did tonight.
Coach, what does it say about your team, no matter who you play, forcing 27 turnovers is impressive, especially considering they're such a great team? How was key for you guys?
Especially they have, you know, real experienced guard in AG, and she's phenomenal, number 10 for them. And you know, I think she's in her 6th year. She got a waiver, so she's real mature and really focused. And to be able to turn a player of that quality, to be able to turn her over, says a lot for us. And I think, like I said, our guards were doing their job in terms of disrupting, and our posts were holding down the fort in the paint. So, you know, if you were an offensive junkie, that probably wasn't such a pretty game. But defensively, both teams kind of got their identity from their defense and rebounding. So, and to match them on the boards. To match them on the boards is an amazing accomplishment. I'm telling you, they are just the best rebounding team. And they were number 2 in the country coming in rebounding, so that was big.
You guys got to the free throw line a lot, and you converted a lot of those attempts at the line. What was key in that? Was it attacking the paint and trying to
you know, at first I thought we started off the game with Mikey and India, and they were a little tired, they were a little flat, and they weren't as aggressive. And so putting Nisha and Kelsey in, you know, really changed the tone of the game. And I think the biggest thing was to be aggressive and hunt shots. I wasn't going to be able to, the nature of their defense didn't allow me to create shots for my players. I just kind of had to get out of their way and let them hunt their own shots. And when they started understanding that, we got downhill a little bit more, I think, got confidence. And then we had our shooters. I think Nisha hit a huge 3 and Kelsey hit a huge 3 that sort of broke them.
Coach, you routinely go to 9, 10 players off the bench, and you did so again. The bench was so effective, scoring 35 points. What was...
It was incredible, and you know, it's you know, I see some people thinking like, you know, I think I'm playing well, and why am I out? I mean, like, you got Sarah Mortensen, who played great minutes for us. Taylor Mason, great minutes for us. You know, and then but Nisha and Kelsey were just phenomenal today, and so you know, we got a lot of minutes off the bench. I mean, Nisha, 21 minutes from Nisha and 22 minutes from Kelsey. That's got to be their career highs at Miami for sure. And so that took some minutes away from other people, and it's just gonna. Then we're in a protect the lead lineup versus a pressing lineup, and you just kind of have to work through it. Lots of conversations on the bench. I mean, the staff is doing a great job. We got all sorts of analytics, but at a certain point, you just put in who you trust and who's feeling it today. And we kept going back to Nisha, and she kept responding.
Nisha, can you talk about your journey to Miami and how this game kind of all came out? It's a career high for you in the orange and green.
Well, at first, it's always, you know, a challenge when you're coming to a new system and learning the plays and being able to understand the coach's philosophy on things. And at first, you know, it was always a challenge for me. So I always have to come through an uphill battle. But eventually, in time, you know, Coach always saying, I believe in you, I trust in you. She's always, you know, motivating me. So because of that, it kind of helps me just to be better and feel more comfortable on the floor when I'm playing.
Coach, where have you seen improvement in Nisha from last year to this season?
Absolutely 100%. It's her stop-start. I mean, her ability to go one direction, stop, go the other direction, start, and then stop again. Early on, I think she was getting a little loose. And so she's really tightened up her game, and she's drawing so much attention when she does penetrate the gaps. And then her teammates are starting to understand. Erica knows the backdoor cut when Nisha's getting in there. Kelsey knows to run behind. So they're starting to understand Nisha's game too. But you know, for chemistry and lineups, I mean, it's a surprising lineup every game. But I think that I'm not complaining about it. But it's interesting. I mean, I have to just promise myself, and I owe it to the kids, that day, that game, whoever's playing well, I got to believe in them and stick with them. You know, and if someone's having an off night, it might take a while for them to get back in. Because there's other people that are popping up and really playing great. So I think both teams had a ton of depth, but I absolutely, the bench, us having 35 off the bench and them only having 18 was huge.
Anything else? All right.
Erica?
That's it. Thank you.
Big win for us. Tons of respect for that program. Tons
sure.
of respect.